All right, thank you, Sibi. Yeah, just to a word to everybody, we are the ones who are recording the section or the session, and I've actually not approved for any AI note taker for this. Okay, so if we see something, then we're going to remove them from the call. All right. Good morning to those here in Texas area, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening for those who are outside of United States. My name is Sunela Thomas, and I'm the program director for the MS Business Analytics and AI program at UT Dallas. And today my plan is to quickly go through the registration of classes, what kind of classes you want to take, just give you some ideas. But you should have already attended the registration webinar by the advising team. But if you missed that, then hopefully this will make a little sense. So first of all, accept your admission. Okay, if you have not accepted the admission, refer to the instructions. Got a screenshot of what you would see, go to my application and then accept the admission, whether it is for summer of 25 or fall of 25. Okay, there is no fee to accept any admission in there. The second part is regarding the medical vaccinations that you need to have. So one is tuberculosis or TB screening, and it is necessary for anybody who's going to attend UTD. And the results, you have to have the results, negative results, before you attend any class on campus. Okay, so as a result, I would always recommend students to come to campus a week before, because you do also have to attend the ISSO orientation that is mandatory. You have the orientation from the program and from Jindal School of Management the Thursday before. So I would always recommend that students attend that. Now, we do have the the orientation webinar for domestic students and international students separately. International students, the requirement is that you attend in person. So you need the TB screening, the TB test done. You also, if you're under the age of 22, you have to make sure you also do the meningitis vaccination. Now, if you look on your uh, Orion account, you may see, if you see there is a hold, if it's an enrollment hold, typically that is you have been sent your official transcript to UTD, and you don't require that for your first semester course enrollment. It is essential before you are allowed to do your second semester courses. Okay, even enrolling for those courses. So if you see a hold, typically we remove the hold for first semester students, but if you still see it in there, just email JSOM GR advising, grad advising, and you can just tell them, maybe give a screenshot of your hold, and they will remove for it. If you have any health related hold, health test related hold, you have to specifically email the health center. Okay, the email address is also on the screen. If there is any other hold that you see, then please email the admissions team regarding that. So my word of advice to all students who have not taken any courses in the United States before, I would say my general recommendation is that you take only 9 credits. Okay, you are free to take any courses within the program catalog. But I would always suggest that don't do all electives. Because there are some core courses that are required as prerequisite for other courses. And as a result, you will have to make sure that you take those in the something in the first semester. Okay. Um, you will also have, again, one credit mandatory course, which is the professional development. And again, I would recommend those who are looking, even if you're working in the United States and you really need help in preparing your new resume and things like that, because I have seen in this spring semester where students who are citizens of the United States skip that class because they've worked here before, and then they send me their resume to review, and I'm like, this doesn't meet any standards of this program, and that is simply because they waived the course from attending the professional development. There's a lot to say about the professional development class here, so I would recommend everybody to take that. So typical course selection for the very first semester is taking 6320, which is the database foundation, take maybe business analytics with R, and the advanced stat. If you're one of those people who don't have any programming experience, then I'm going to recommend that instead of taking the business analytics with R, you either take an elective or one of the courses that says foundations in programming or programming for data science, something to that extent, so that you get a grounding on it. Now, come second semester onwards, take as many courses as you want. Again, with the caution that if you take anything more than 4 courses or 12 credits, this is a graduate course. It is not about learning something and getting an A in that class. It's about applying that knowledge. And in order for you to apply and work in teams, you need time. You and I have only 24 hours. You don't get a second more than what I get, right? So use that time wisely. Taking anything more than 12 credits for a graduate course is really an overload for you. So how to look at courses. If the course says there is a prerequisite for the course you want to take, then you have to take the prerequisite the semester before. Okay. If it is a co-requisite, that means you can take that co-requisite course as well as the course that you want to take during that same semester. Now, bear in mind, if you end up making a decision, oh, this course is way difficult for me and I want to drop it, and you are dropping that co-requisite course, you'll have to drop the other course also. Okay, so I have had some students being in that dilemma as well. So anything as a first semester course, the MAS 6102 is the professional development course. If you want to get it waived, you can definitely get it waived. And it's only going to be waived for people who have work experience in the United States. Okay. Then, yes, I mentioned the first 3 courses: database, business analytics with R. You can do foundations, organizing for business analytics, web analytics, a set of courses. And if you need any specific guidance, you can always email me if you want me to talk to somebody about a course that you want to take. You can also reach out to JSOM Grad Advising. You can send them an email and they'll gladly help you based on your interest as well as your experience in them. So how do you look at courses in the course catalog? Okay, you may all see courses in the course catalog right now. If you go, and I'll show you that screen after I finish the presentation. If you go to coursebook.utdallas.edu, you can see all the summer courses as well as the fall courses, okay? But you can't register for it yet. You will get an enrollment email, and it is at that time that you can register. So let's say you get a email that says April 14th is a day that you are authorized to register at 10:55 a.m. Doesn't mean you have to register at 10:55 a.m. It's after that time, anytime it's open for you to register. Okay. So when you look at classes in the course book, look at what comes after the 4-digit course number. If it says something with a W, that means it is an online class. And here, if you look at, this is just an example. It's when it says no meeting room and there is nothing below that, it's an online asynchronous class, meaning you can take that class at any time you want and you attend you watch the recording, read what is required, do the assignments. Now, here is a word of caution. If you are one of those people who are doing an async class, make sure you read the syllabus very clearly, okay? Because the syllabus is going to tell you when assignments are due and what specific route you have to take. And sometimes assignments could be as simple as pick your group by so-and-so date, okay? And if you don't pick your team by then you lose the points for that, okay? Now, a traditional classroom is that's number 2, that you have a course number. Maybe they have a .5 or 0. It doesn't matter what comes after that. It's purely looks at, it'll tell you the date, the time, and the classroom. Okay, so the one thing you are responsible to do is show up in the classroom in addition to studying. Okay. The third one is where it says, again, has a W, but then go over. It says there's no meeting room, but there is a date or day and time that is given. That means it's an online synchronous course. That means you need to be online at the time the professor is teaching, but you can be online from wherever you are. Okay. So for domestic students, okay, just make sure that you look at the prerequisite and core requisite. You can waive the 6102 if you have sufficient working experience here and does not need help in terms of your resume preparation, networking. The Career Management Center in JSOM provides a lot of opportunities for students to network, practice with one-on-one with another instructor there, or practice with the tools that they have. If in your admissions letter, it states that there is a prerequisite that you need to take, which is typically OPRE 6303. This is for students who did not show any proficiency in statistics or calculus. If you have that, only if you have that is a course that you should take in your first semester, and it doesn't count towards your 36 credit requirement for the program. For international students, to be full-time students, you need to be enrolled in 3 courses on 9 credits, okay? You are allowed to take 1 online class. Now, again, I will strongly dissuade you from doing that if you're studying in US for the first time. Take all the classes on campus. There is much to say about on-campus classes. Not only you can have that one-on-one with your professor, you have that one-on-one with your peers. So if you're struggling, if you need other help, there is your set of peers who can help you. Academic calendar. If you go to UTDs and just say academic calendar, you will see both the spring and the spring will be the one that says as current. Summer and fall is also there. Click on that link. It's a PDF, download it. It's a 2-page document. Don't skip the second page. Okay, that second page will tell you about, if you're dropping a class, when is a drop without a W, which is withdrawal, or with a W, when is a tuition refund, all that things, okay? But bear in mind that if you're an international student, you still need to hold that 9 credits. If you have a question on the fee payment deadline, just go on to your Easy Pay tuition payments and you can find information there. You're also going to have access to the MSBA&AI catalog, which I'll show you shortly, as well as for certificates. You all know that if you're registered in the course and the master's program, you have access, free access, meaning free in the sense you don't pay anything additional to it for your certificates. Okay, but there are some rule on that certificate. You need to apply for that certificate before your last course in that certificate. So each certificate has roughly 4 courses. So you can apply to be admitted to that certificate at any time, but definitely before you take that 4th course. Okay. And you also need to bear in mind that you also have to apply for graduation in that certificate when you finish that last certificate course. Those kind of things, I would say, don't worry about it right now about that certificate on time, because once you're here in the first semester, you can always apply for it. Doesn't mean, it's based on the classes you take, so it doesn't mean you need to do everything right now. So main part for it, some of you had mentioned that you did not receive an email regarding this webinar. We send you an email to your personal email that you shared with us, as well as your UT Dallas email. So from now on, you will only receive if there's an email sent out to your UT Dallas email. As a result, my word of caution is to all of you is look at your email, read your email, have a way to file those emails to go back and look, okay? All our events, we post it on Instagram and LinkedIn. So that is one thing you want to make sure that you follow us in Instagram and LinkedIn. Okay, because sometimes students say, hey, we didn't know about the event. We do Okay, it looks like, yeah, it looks like the system kicked me out. I have no idea why that happened. But let me make sure I share my screen. Hopefully you can all see it. Going back to, hopefully you didn't, I saw that the screen just blinked and kicked me out. So can everybody hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sunela.
Okay, thank you. All right, so follow our Instagram and LinkedIn. There's an Indian student organization. There is umpteen number of JSOM student organizations that I will encourage you when your first semester, when you have the student organization fair. Now, if you're joining in summer, there's no student organization fair at that point. But if you are interested in something, you cannot find them, just come and reach out to me on that. And the last one is, okay, let me think if my screens are all messed up at this point. Okay, so the typical questions students ask is which course to take. I shared that with you. If you have further questions, feel free to reach out to advising or myself, okay? Which professors to take? Well, professors of how they teach, all our professors are good. Just because one particular student loved a professor or hated a professor, that hate is a very strong word. It is how they interacted with that professor, okay? I encourage you to look at their syllabus. That's the best way to decide what they do in that syllabus and the number of exams and the timing and assignments. Does that work with what you want to do? Okay, so I would say do that as opposed to, you can definitely ask people, there's nothing wrong in it, but I would encourage you to kind of make that decision independently. You don't have to complete all the core courses. I mean, typically the database foundations as well as the advanced stats and business analytics with our, if you take those three, the last three, which is prescriptive, predictive, and econometrics, you can take it different semesters. You can take course outside of the MSBA&AI program. You're allowed to take two courses. So if you see something that is not in our catalog, but within the university that makes sense for this program, like you can go and say, oh, I'm going to do a painting class. Well, that I'm not going to prove. But if there is something in terms of, let's say you're in the finance direction and you saw there is a class, new class that's not in the catalog, but by the finance JSON finance department that says AI in finance, well, you can request the grad advising to add that to your course. Criteria for graduation, right? You have to complete the 36 credits. That doesn't include the prerequisites that is outside of that catalog. It doesn't include that one professional development course, one credit professional development course. It doesn't. And you need to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA for both the core courses, all the core courses put together, and your cumulative GPA for all core and elective put together. The other one that's required is an internship or a practicum. So you have to at least do one internship within the 2 years or 18 months that you're in the program. If you did not get an internship, then there is a class, BUAN 6390, that is a practicum class. There are some students who come to the practicum class who currently have a job that is not analytics related, and they don't have an opportunity to do that course or that internship in their job. Then they come to that practicum class and it's a 3-credit course. It's all practicum courses are in person, just like if you were to go to work on a given day. You can finish the program between 18 and 24 months. As I mentioned earlier, using the time wisely in terms of, because this is an applied skills when you take a graduate course, I would say use that wisely. Don't pack up your classes. For your internship, for an international student, you can do internship after 2 long semesters. So if you're joining us in summer, next summer you can do an internship. If you're joining us in fall, next summer, summer of 2026, you can do an internship, okay? Any internship that you pursue has to be related to the program. So if you said admit to the program, if you are accepted at admission, that means you are going to be an UT Dallas student and you want to reach out to a current student. So for this, you have to use your UT Dallas email, okay? You can scan the QR code, submit if you have, and then somebody will reach out to you via email. Any questions so far? And then lastly, you can hold off, I'm pretty sure I saw some questions popping up and Sylvia responding to it. Sylvia Leventhal is the program manager in the BUAN program, and you can reach out to either of us. But the best, if you have a general question, is to, and you don't know who to reach out to, instead of sending multiple emails, the best is to send it to msbuan@utdallas.edu so that one of us will answer that question. Okay. I want to stop sharing my screen and try to bring you just to, if there is somebody who hasn't seen the course book, this is practically what I mentioned before. Go and select what is the term that you want, put in the class prefix as BUAN, and then just click search classes. Any classes that are in the 6,000 series are the ones that are graduate. Anything in the 4,000, those are undergraduate classes. Okay, so you can look in here. Now, if you want to see a professor's syllabus, obviously summer and fall syllabuses, you're not going to see it now. So the best way is to go to spring and then scroll down where you see syllabus. If you, this is the, well, let me pick a, let's say 6320, if that's the syllabus you want to see, maybe this professor or generally what it is, you can just click on that syllabus and you can see it on the screen or download it, okay? The other one I mentioned was the graduate catalog. So if you go and search in the graduate catalog, drill down to Jindal School of Management, Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. So here, this, when you click on the Business Analytics and Artificial Intelligence, that's the program. And here are the 4 certificates within that. So if you click on one, and if you scroll down, it'll tell you what are the courses that are required in there. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and then look at your questions.
I have answered all of the ones that have come in to this point.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody has any questions? Go ahead.
Hi, Ms. Sunela. Thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing this information.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to understand, like, when does class registration usually start?
So class registrations go by the current continuing students will get the registration first. So it's staggered. So you should have received your specific enrollment registration timeline.
Okay, got it. Would it usually would it be? I mean, I understand that we would get an email when it's time to register for the classes. So would it be any time before June?
Oh, yeah. You
So
should have something before like end of this week. Go ahead, Sivya.
Yeah, you don't get an email. You have to go into your Galaxy account and look at your own enrollment appointment time.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Sorry for the interruption, but that appointment time is confusing is because last night I was trying to see what my appointment time or how to schedule it. It's just, there's no option to pick any time slot or reach out to anyone or anything like that in Orion.
So summer is open enrollment. So everyone can enroll for summer at any point they want to, starting today. Fall has enrollment appointments. So when you click on fall 2025 in the Galaxy account where you're looking at your enrollment appointment, you will have an appointment time. So it's based on how many credits you have completed. So new incoming students have completed none. So you will have the latest enrollment appointments. And as Professor Thomas said, the time slot will be 10:30 to 10:45 on April 10th. That does not mean you have to enroll in those 15 minutes. It just means that the start of that window is the earliest that the system will let you enroll for fall classes. Summer is what we call open enrollment. So it is available to everyone starting today. And Mumtaz, I responded to your message in the chat. If you're having issues, this is where you reach out to graduate advising because the program does not actually do anything with enrolling in courses. So from your UTD email, you contact jsomgradvising@utdallas.edu and they will work through their queue. You don't need to email them every day or every hour. They will work through their queue as they help students with the issues that they are encountering.
What is the queue time? Is because I'm surprised. I studied all my life in US and you are saying it's a queue time and I don't have time to email every hour or so. So what's
you should not email and please do not email every hour. That is what I'm saying. I'm saying send one email.
You are not listening. I don't have time for every hour to send out an email. I'm asking you, what is the turnaround time for them to get back to me? It's because I'm a full-time employee. I don't have time for all this.
2 business days is what
2
the
business days
turnaround
to
time
respond to the enrollment session?
to questions about enrollment. At Graduate Advising serves all master's students in the Jindal School of Management. So their turnaround time is about 2 business days. And the truth is, right now, with summer enrollment opening today, as well as fall enrollment, it could be longer.
That's strange, really strange. This is not the first time I'm studying. And this is not how I encounter the advisement like this.
I apologize. This is how JSOM's enrollment process works.
Yeah, see, if I get enrolled, that's fine. If I don't get enrolled, if I have issues and if I have to wait for 2 or 3 days to get a class, then I have to think about it.
That's your decision to make.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move. Gopika, I think you were speaking when you were interrupted. Do you have another question?
No, I'm all good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to clarify something that I said before. It is not the email that you're receiving with the time, but it is you go to your Orion Galaxy portal and look for your enrollment appointment at that point. Okay. Somebody else had a question. Go ahead, Soumya.
Hi, this is Samya. So you said that summer is open enrollment. I'm matriculated to start in fall. If I wanted to, could I take summer classes?
You would have to defer early, like a pre-defer. They use the same terminology of defer, but it's a weird word. And you would need to contact Graduate Advising to change your admission term to summer if you wanted to do that.
Okay, so it's the advisors that can help me with that. Got it. Thank you.
So it's typically when we give an admissions to a student and they decide that's not the semester that they want a different semester, we allow them to defer one time. It's a form that you complete, but I don't know when you have to not differ, but you're pre-deferring, however way you want to say, then it's better to just reach out to JSOM Grad Advising and tell them that, hey, I have the admission for fall, but I want to do the start in summer. How do I do that?
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. I think there was some question. So in MSBA, if you're a flex student, you're only allowed to pick flex classes. You cannot take cohort classes at that point. So at this point, Gauri, your question was, are the courses listed? Right now, the courses are listed in the course book, okay? That doesn't mean courses won't be added or sections won't be added later on. We purely look at the student enrollment to make a decision whether we want to add another section or not. So right now, since nobody has enrolled yet, this is what you have. Okay, so Cecilia said, you actually apply for scholarship before you get your I-20. That is how you would do it. Typically, I recommend students that you apply for the admission and at the same time apply for scholarship. Scholarship only is counted after you get admitted. So they just wait, the scholarship application will just wait. That team committee will just wait until you are admitted to the program, and then they will look at your scholarship application. And then you will be in the deadline for scholarship, if I'm right, for fall is May 1st. Okay. Okay, so Pranav, you keep saying as students from the cohort program. If a cohort, I'm not the person to answer the question, you should reach out to your cohort program director. Okay, so Sandeep's question of scholarship. So if you are, there's a different pool for first time new students versus continuing students. So if you got a scholarship coming in, let's say, I'm going to give an example of fall. If you got a scholarship for fall 2025, that scholarship is valid for fall 2025 and spring 2026. If you did not get a scholarship in fall 2025 while you are here, now you are a continuing student for spring 2026, right? So you go to the scholarship portal and apply for the scholarship. So at that point, when you're continuing, your first semester grades are very important to be considered. Your first semester involvement with our student organizations and events, that's also very important because we ask you for what was your leadership skills that you can demonstrate. So Mitali, you should apply for your I-20. Like if you're waiting for the scholarship to apply for your I-20, you can. Because I-20 is, if I'm right, you have time. I'm assuming you're a fall student. So if you're a fall student, as I mentioned, May 1st is the deadline for scholarship application. So if you don't hear anything by middle of May, by then they would have distributed out the scholarship, anybody who is eligible. And if at that point you can reach out, if you applied for scholarship and haven't heard anything by third week in May, I would recommend that you can reach out to the scholarship portal. They have an email address there too. So Sandeep's question of on-campus job, all on-campus jobs are posted in Handshake. That's an app that you use. And I will also recommend that you connect with students. Once you're here, you connect with students who have a campus job, right? Ask them, how did they get that job? That networking skills is of utmost important. Even if you want to get a scholarship, sorry, not scholarship, internship or a job, that networking is extremely important. Cecilia, I'm not quite, Sylvia, do you understand Cecilia's question at 907?
Um, They will issue the I-20 to you, but the program doesn't handle anything with I-20s. So any question you have about the timing and how you receive it and all of that must be directed by you to ISSO because the program doesn't issue I-20s or answer any questions about I-20s.
Okay, so I'm answering question from Rahi on how soon could we start internship fall 2025? You cannot. As an incoming student, whether you are domestic or international, domestic students have to complete 12 credits to apply for the internship. International students will have to complete 2 long semesters, meaning you have to complete a fall semester and a spring semester before you're eligible to apply for internship. Okay, any other question?
You can apply for the I-20 without a scholarship decision. It will then get updated if you are awarded a scholarship. And yes, if you can secure an on-campus job, you can absolutely work on campus before you are eligible for an internship.
Any questions?
I'm going to answer Kushali's. Yes, please do not create your own handshake account. The university does that for you and will send you the information, but it's only a few weeks before your intake semester. Because if you're starting at the end of August, the university doesn't need you applying for on-campus jobs this summer. Because if there's an on-campus job this summer, they need someone to fill it this summer, and you're not here in June. So if you are coming in June, your handshake account will be sent to you, I would guess, early to mid-May. If you are joining us in fall, which does not start until August 25th, F1 students can only enter the country 1 month before. So it's about the late July, early August that your handshake account will be created for you, and then you can start looking for on-campus jobs. Orientation will be the Thursday before the semester begins.
So it'll be August 21st. And then typically the day before will be your ISSO orientation. So I always will recommend to be on campus at least a week before so you can get acclimatized with the environment, know where to go, what to do, your jet lag, all of that. You can be clear of that. Okay, so well, your question on if I do a fall or spring internship in my second year in another state, it depends on you, what courses you're taking, right? And whether all of those courses are available online. And also, if you're an international student, there is a restriction on how many online classes you can take. Now, if you have, let's say, a 40-hour-a-week internship, then you could apply for a reduced course load, which means, I think you have to take 2 courses at that point instead of the 3. So it all depends on what courses that are available at that point, whether you can take it online. Rahi, I'm not quite sure on your question on virtual internship. Whatever the internship is, whether it is in person or virtual, as an international student, you have to complete 2 full long semesters. So if you're a fall 2025 student, the earliest you can do an internship, whether virtual or in person, is summer 2026. Yeah, so you can, I would recommend if you're coming in as a fall 2025 student, we have career fair in fall, both by UTD's Career Management Center and JSOM's Career Management Center. You should go and attend all of that, network with recruiters, and apply for jobs. And you can always state to them that you're looking for a job in summer 2026. We had several students last semester do that in fall. So Cecilia, the only thing I can say, graduation date 2028, it says in that it's giving you the buffer that if, let's say you got a full-time internship, then if you're taking a reduced course load, then it'll take you probably that extra time to finish. I don't see any questions that we missed before. I'm just scrolling back to see the thumbs up, but I don't see anything. If there is any question that we missed, we didn't answer, please put it in the chat again. Or you can unmute or raise your hand and just ask the question. Go ahead, Apurva.
Hello, I was just wondering where exactly in Galaxy we could apply for certificates, or is that a later problem?
So right now you're not enrolled, right? What semester are you coming in?
I'll be coming in fall.
In fall. Okay. So once you enroll for those classes, you will find, so if you go, and I am going to just show you how to get in there. You can just say, Google search JSOM certificate JSOM. And then you will see all certificate programs in there. You go under information systems, and I'll just share my screen for a quick minute. So let's say it is applied machine learning. When you scroll down, there is your application process. It says in here, details.
Okay, thank you.
Each certificate has its own application.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
One just came in on the chat.
Okay.
Rahi's.
Okay, what are the placements? Okay, so anybody who is in the last, I would say within, you should also see that student outcomes in our website also. I'm going to just make sure you can see that. Yeah, there's a dashboard, and I'm going to just share the screen so you can. So if you just said JSOM student outcomes or career outcomes, you are able to see the information on the placement. But I would say on an average, within 90 days, at least 85% of our students have found a job. Any other question? And I'm going to still recommend that if you have a question, don't just send multiple emails to different people, because if you send a question that is related to the program to somebody else, let's say ISO, it's going to be just routed to us back. So if you have a program specific question, please send it to the program email or to myself or Sivia. If you have an advising question, send it to advising. If you have a health center related question, send it to them. Okay. Health center. And then if you want to connect to any current student with a specific, housing question or things like that, please complete. I hope you scan the QR code and reach out, and somebody will get back to you. Just bear in mind that the students this week, everybody is going to be super busy trying to find their classes and enrollment. So give them a little bit of grace to get back to you. Okay, so Hanisha's question of when to take track courses. So think about track in this way. The beauty of the Flex program is that we have 11 tracks and 80 plus courses, right? If you want to stay, there's no requirement for you to stay within a track. I personally would tell you to take courses in multiple tracks, because that'll give you that additional knowledge that you probably can share or showcase while you're doing an internship interview and things like that. Or even for your projects, it's good to do projects in multiple domains, like something in finance, something in healthcare. Like, it's good to do that. So I would say don't come blindsided in the or one-way track of I got to do data science. You'll be surprised once you start your courses and talking to your peers and seeing all the events that are happening. You may feel you want to take a course from another track. Nowhere in your diploma will it say MS Business Analytics and AI financial analytics track. Nowhere it'll say the track. You just have to track the elective courses you take so that you're taking 6 elective courses. So hopefully I answered your question. I'm going to say don't focus on track, to focus on the kind of courses you should take. Any other question? Let's see. So Rahi, the batch size, think of it in this way. We are not closed for with the application in the sense anybody who did meet the deadline, it's a revolving kind of door that they can still apply with paying the penalty. Okay, so the enrollment and what the number of students coming in, it's only finalized after after our census day, because until then some students may not get a a visa, and they may be delayed, all of that. So I don't think I can tell you what is the number of students coming in. Now, you are not moving with the same set of students in all your classes. So there may be, let's say, 400 students coming in, but you might not ever see the 400 students, right? Because the class sizes are limited. The only one that I have seen increase in class sizes is the analytics practicum, because it is a project-based class. So if there's a handful of students who are needing that class, but there is no open slot, we try to increase the number of students in that class, because most of that class is external speakers coming in, giving them projects, talking to them, networking, and things like that. But all the other classes, there will be a cap of the number of students based on the room they are in, the class type that's in there. So I'm not, so Cecilia's question of what is the advantage of flex over cohort? It's being flexed. There are 11 tracks. You have 80 plus courses to take, while cohort is only 2 tracks, accounting and data science. So you can only take courses within those 2 tracks. Lots of industry tie-ups. I would say at least half of our full-time faculty or half of our faculty comes from industry, either full-time, like I came in from industry. I have 30 years of industry experience, and I retired and I joined higher education. But during my industry exposure, I was adjunct faculty here since 2016. So you will find instructors in your classes that you're taking, either an adjunct who is from the industry, a full-time who is fully academia related, or you will see a full-time who came from industry. So multiple sources of industry and external speakers that could potentially come to your classes. So Sandeep, the question on how many classes to pick, if you are so much track focused, then I would say take it from that track. But my personal recommendation to students, because I have also done a master's in data science, right? And master's in computer science and an MBA. So I will tell you, take for a graduate student, having the multiple domain knowledge, and depending on what are you trying to do. Are you trying to be a data scientist? Well, then maybe taking all the courses from the data science and the data engineering track probably will benefit you the most. Are you trying to be a marketing analyst? Then I would say you may take a big data course from the data science or data engineering track. You will definitely have to take a visualization. You definitely have to take a web analytics and a causal analytics and A/B testing classes. Like, in order for you to be proficient, you got to take all those courses. Otherwise, you're going to lose out in an interview. What do you mean by some core business courses? So the best way, Rahi, for me to answer that is go look at the 2024 graduate catalog that's available. The program has a specific list of courses that you can take, or you should take from that catalog. You are allowed 2 courses outside of that catalog. And if you can find 2 courses outside of that catalog that you're interested in, yes, you can take those courses. Okay, so Pranav, in terms of review a resume to which elective you can take, what's your resume have to do with your elective? Are you meaning that your interest in terms of what are the kind of jobs you want to look at? Yeah, you can talk to professors when you're on campus. You can come and see me. If you want a virtual meeting with me, then reach out and I'm happy to set up a meeting. Okay, your question on fall incoming students have to, yes. So one of the things when you receive a scholarship, that is why I would say watch out for your email. When you receive that scholarship, there's a deadline in that scholarship to accept it, to register for courses. So you're registering at that point, let's say your fall 2025 student, then you're registering for that fall 2025 classes. You will not have the fall for spring 26, the course, the classes or the enrollment is only open late in October. So you're only selecting fall 25 classes. Glad I was able to answer your question, Rahi. Okay, all right, it looks like we almost to the end and nobody has any additional questions. So thank you for, okay, maybe Likith I'll take one last question. Likith, that may be a question you want to reach out to ISSO to find out. As a program, like I wouldn't know that information. Okay, one last question. I have a hands up. Panache.
Hi, Sunela, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Great. So I wanted to ask, is it okay if we register for the classes maybe the moment we come there at UTD? Because we are still processing our visas and so forth. So I was hoping maybe if everything is up, then the moment we arrive in the United States, we register for the classes since I'm starting in, should be 4 of 2025.
So here is what you would find, Panache, if you wait till the very last minute to register. You may not find the courses that you want to take spots in that class. When I say courses you want to take, the time you want to take, you probably are not going to find it if you wait that long.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, everyone, we're out of time. If you have questions, please reach out. I hope the event was beneficial to you and we were able to, between Sivi and I, we were able to answer your questions. If you still have any more questions, please reach out. Thank you and have a good day.